The Reflection. Scarystory. The Reflection. Synopsis. A young woman, Lila, moves into an old house inherited from a distant relative. The house is filled with history, and its eerie charm attracts her, until she discovers something terrifying in the mirror. The reflection in her home isn't as it seems. As she digs deeper, she uncovers a horrifying secret that threatens not just her, but anyone who dares to look into the house's mirrors. The arrival. The scene opens with Lila, early 30s, getting out of her car in front of a large, dilapidated house. The sky is grey and overcast, giving the setting an ominous feel. The wind whistles softly through the trees as Lila walks toward the house with a small suitcase. The house looks lonely, abandoned, as though it's been waiting for someone. Lila, narrating. I didn't know why I'd agreed to move here. Maybe I thought it was a fresh start, or perhaps I was tired of city life. But the moment I stepped through that door, something felt off. She pushes the door open. The hinges creak loudly. She steps inside. The floorboards groan beneath her feet as dust swirls in the air. Lila looks around. A dark, narrow hallway leads to the rest of the house, which seems untouched for years. The mirror. Lila sets her suitcase on the floor and begins exploring the house. She enters a grand living room filled with old furniture. Her eyes fall on a large, ornate mirror on the wall. The frame is gold and intricate, with designs that seem to swirl into each other, almost alive. Lila, whispering to herself, "That's beautiful." He steps closer to the mirror and looks at her reflection. For a moment, she admires herself, her long hair, her green eyes, but then something catches her attention. In the reflection, behind her, a dark figure moves across the room. She spins around, but there's no one there. Lila, startled. "Hello? Is anyone here?" The room is empty. The shadows stretch long and eerie across the floor. Lila feels a shiver run down her spine. Strange happenings. That night, Lila tries to sleep in the old master bedroom. But every time she closes her eyes, she hears faint whispers coming from the hallway. She bolts upright, heart pounding in her chest. She stares at the door, which is ajar. Lila, whispering, "Who's there?" The door creaks open slowly, revealing nothing but the dim hallway light. She gets up cautiously, walking toward the living room. The house feels cold, far colder than it should be. Lila enters the living room and freezes. The large mirror she saw earlier has moved slightly. She didn't remember it being so tilted. Something inside her tells her to leave the house. She slowly approaches the mirror and stares into it. Her reflection moves again this time. It smiles back at her. Lila, voice shaking. "No, that's not me." She stumbles back, her pulse racing. She grabs her phone, but it's dead. The mirror's reflection now shows her, but the surroundings are different, a dark, claustrophobic space filled with shadows and flickering lights. Uncovering the truth. The next day, Lila decides to research the house's history. She finds an old journal in the attic, belonging to her late great-aunt. As she flips through the pages, she reads about an ancient curse tied to the mirrors in the house. Lila, reading aloud. The mirror is a doorway, a portal between worlds. Whoever gazes into it will be trapped in the reflection, unable to escape. The only way to free them is to destroy the mirror, but only one will be freed. The rest will be lost forever. Suddenly, the house shakes. The lights flicker. Lila looks around in fear. She hears a faint whisper from the other side of the mirror. Voice, whispering, "Help me." Lila rushes to the living room, where the mirror now seems to pulse with an unnatural energy. The reflection of Lila in the mirror is different. Her eyes are wide, filled with fear. Then, the reflection steps out of the mirror, standing in front of her. The final choice. Lila's heart races as she faces her reflection. It steps forward, smirking at her with malice. Reflection Lila, with a twisted grin. You shouldn't have come here. Now you're mine. Lila screams and tries to back away, but she is frozen. The reflection starts to reach out toward her, pulling her closer to the mirror. Lila, struggling. No, I won't go back in. In the reflection, she sees herself trapped, her hands pressed against the glass, trying to escape. Reflection Lila, laughing darkly. It's too late. Lila spots a metal candle holder on the table beside the mirror. With all her strength, she grabs it and swings it at the mirror, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. The reflection vanishes, but so does Lila. The room falls silent. The aftermath. The next day, the house is quiet again. A realtor shows up to clean the property, only to notice something strange. In the fragments of the shattered mirror, Lila's reflection still lingers faint, but visible, trapped forever. The realtor's eyes widen in terror as he begins to step back. But then, the reflection smiles at him.